Zach from Culture. How's it going today, sir?
It's going well. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, well, glad you're here. Glad you're here. It was very nice meeting you and your family in person and in Helen, Georgia. We'll talk about that as we get going, but especially Helen, Georgia and stuff. But it was very nice meeting y'all that evening when you rolled in.
Yep, nice meeting you guys too. Hopefully, we'll be able to make it up there just a little earlier this next time.
Absolutely, it's a fun time, and I can't believe that this is the sixth annual that's passed now, and we got the seventh annual coming up, and it gets better each and every time. And when I say better, it's the people. I love people. I'm a people person, and we got so many good people out there, and it's just really neat to get to know folks and different genres of YouTube channels. Mine is a Germany travel and whatnot. I even got sewing channels coming there. They sew stuff. I don't know about sewing, but you know what? They're good people, and they're welcome. They're welcome. So they all from all genres come.
Absolutely, the more the merrier.
That's right. That's right. And I'm so glad that you accepted my request to be my special guest. I love your channno. I have not watched all your videos. I have not. But I watched a lot of your videos, and you know how it is. You're busy with my own stuff and everybody else, tic tacs. But now I'm more intentional. Especially me. Now I gotta. I have a habit of watching on the big screen. I'm in my office right now, but the big screen in the living room. I watch videos. I like to support people. Watch their videos and stuff like that. Oh, I'll comment later. And then something else will happen. Then you feel, oh, I didn't comment. So, but a bunch of stuff. You know how that goes.
Oh, I definitely do. Yeah, we're big on watching it on the TV as well. We don't watch much on the phone, but we'll still have our phone. If it's a live or a premiere, we'll have it on the TV and the phone so that we can be active in the chat.
Sure.
Yeah, we try to keep our phones with us, so after we've watched something, we can go ahead and make a comment, or hopefully within the same day make a comment.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I want to talk about you and your family.
Okay.
You're married now. Her name's Jessica, but I hear everybody calling her Jess. What does she go by?
She goes by Jess. Okay. I mean, she'll go by both. Her formal name is Jessica, but everybody calls her Jess. She's been Jess, for as long as I've known her, which is over 20 years now. So, it either way is fine, but, kind of like I'm Zach, but my real name's Zachary. Nobody calls me Zachary. Everybody calls me Zach. Kind of the same thing with her.
Oh, that's awesome. I remember my mom saying if I had I guess another brother. This is a long time ago. His name would be Zachary. Because she always loved that name. I have two younger brothers. We're spread apart. I'm 13 years older than one, and then 9 years older on the other one. So
those are very big differences. Goodness.
Yeah. It's big difference. But it's amazing how that works. I love your channel description. I'm not going to read all of it, but I'll just pull some out of here. I'll start out with, it says in here, we fully believe that we have something for everyone. See, I like that. At Culture. Vlogs about life, vacations, and I love the Disney vacations, by the way, and going through Ocala. I was like, man, that's my hometown. And then food reviews, theme parks, cruising, movies, video games, psychology, and mental health. Don't miss our weekly live Nerd Herd, and we're going to definitely talk about the Nerd Herd. Y'all are hilarious on that, guys. Stream with our friends. Sundays at 7. You're live every Sunday at 7, right? 7
yes, sir.
Every Sunday at 7. Yeah, Dallas, you're Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, okay.
What I used to call, or what I tend to call God's time, the Eastern Standard
God's time. There you go. The best time. The best time. That's right. That's right. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Dallas is near Marietta, right? Is it close to Marietta?
Yes, it is. My wife actually works in Marietta. It's about a 15-minute drive or so.
Okay, because I do have some friends in Marietta, and when you said Dallas, we said where are you from? Dallas. I'm like, of course, everybody thinks of Dallas, Texas.
Yep.
We have a Dallas right here in Marion County. We have a Dallas, Florida, right here, not too far from me.
I didn't know that.
So I'm thinking, what in the world? So and then it's right in the same county that I live in. It's a little a little township type thing. But then Dallas, Georgia. I've heard of Dallas, Georgia, and when you said, it, I'm like, yeah, I've heard of that. But anyways, it's a nice area up there. The Kennesaw Mountains, right? Runs
Yep,
through there.
Kennesaw Mountain. We're about just as far away from it as we are Marietta, because it's essentially Kennesaw and Marietta connect. They're two cities that touch. So, and I actually went to college in Kennesaw. I went to Kennesaw State, which it was a smaller school, but now it's over the last year it's kind of made some big D1 or Division One news. They won their conference championship in football and made their first bowl game, and then they just made the NCAA tournament for March Madness for basketball for I think the second time in school history, after winning the conference championship in that too. But they already lost last night to Gonzaga in the first round. So
I'm watching too. We have artists tonight at 9:30. We play Prairie View. I think let's see, the Boilermakers play first, and then we'll play. Go to a friend's house tonight. Get to watch it. But anyways, of course, I'm glad to talk to a fellow Gator fan. I heard you're a Gator fan, and man, that made me so happy.
Nope.
Is that true?
Nope, it is not. Not one bit. Not a second.
Not one bit.
Nope. This is where we completely disagree, my friend. And why you and I have never talked football for sure.
Right.
No, well, we are. We as a family are Tennessee supporters, and that's mainly Chad. I'm actually a Florida State Seminole fan.
I interrupt this broadcast. We're going to say a prayer right now. Dear Lord, it's me again. I need some help, Lord Jesus.
But I haven't been able to be out with that Seminole fandom for quite some time, as you fully understand. So we've been.
I do.
Yeah.
That rivalry goes way, way back, and now you got some Tennessee in your family too, right? You mentioned Tennessee because your son, I think your youngest one, and I said, "Are you a Gator fan?" He's like, he wouldn't say anything. He was very quiet. But when I said that, he goes, "No."
Yeah, Ty, it's weird. Chad is big Tennessee fan, huge Tennessee fan. Ty doesn't really have an attached fandom yet. Like Ty's
the oldest one or youngest one?
He's the younger one. Chad is the
younger one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the oldest one that has a attachment.
Oh yes, big time.
Okay, I got him mixed up with the age. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, he's Mr. Tennessee everything, orange everything.
My son's first away game. I have a 15-year-old and 17-year-old girl, 15 boy, 17 girl. Anyways, a freshman and a junior in high school as we speak. But his first away game was Tennessee, and we lost that game. He was 5 years old, and we were winning in the last minute and a half. Somehow we lost by 3 points. We got up again, and then down again, then up again, then down again. Then we just ran out of time. And he sat there. He's like, "Yeah, go Gators. The game's over." And he was looking around. We lost. I'm like, "Yeah, we lost."
It happens.
We lost. And he goes, "Daddy," I said, I said, "We can't win them all, son. We can't win them all." But that's his thing. So. We go to away games a lot and everything, and he's like, "Man, I'll never forget Tennessee." And he's 15 now, so that was 10 years ago when when that happened. But it's a lot of fun. My longest streak of being in a game at a game in person, home or away, is 9 years without missing one game.
That's impressive.
And, I'll get off work on Friday. I don't care. I'll drive to LSU. I'll drive to Arkansas. I don't care where it was at. Boom, I was there. And then I met my wife. She's prettier. I said prettier. That's perfect English. She's prettier than a football. Now I still go to away games, but all that good stuff. But just not every one. Like Florida, Georgia, I go, and then I love going to LSU and then beat them out there. When you lose them, oh man, it's something else. But anyways. one more thing about that. I proposed to my wife on the national championship field, and she said yes. When we played Ohio State, and when we Tim Tebow and everything, that was 2006. Well, 2006 year was January of 2007. I proposed in January. We got married in June. So,
well, that's awesome.
And we're still in Sports Illustrated to this day. If you look at BCS marriage proposals, you'll see me.
That is really really cool. We actually
Right on the end zone too. I'm staying on the second tee in state, on the end zone. Players out, everybody out there. I had all this stuff. There's a long story how that happened, but I had all this stuff prepared. The most beautiful woman in the world. None of that came out. I got down on one knee. I said, "Will you marry me?" And she goes, and she started shaking. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." And she passed out on me.
Oh,
I caught her before she could say yes. I didn't even know the answer. And people are running out. The cart's coming out. All this stuff, and I'm like, what? I was like, Colleen, wake up! And she goes, "Yes, I will." I said, "Okay." She said yes. And that was my 15 minutes of fame, I guess. But it was awesome. Now, back to you. You're a school teacher, right?
Yes, I am.
Do you teach what? Do you elementary, middle?
I teach high school. I'm actually in my 20th year of being an educator. I'm certified to teach middle and high, and I've actually spent some time doing both. But I've primarily been high school, and I've been high school for the last 13 years, maybe even 14 consecutive now. But I'm social studies, and I've taught everything there is to teach, social studies wise at the high school level. But over the last decade, I've primarily been a psychology teacher. And so that's kind of where my niche has been and where my focus is. Every now and then they'll toss me a geography or a world history or something along those lines. But the vast majority of my schedule is psychology classes.
Hence in the description of psychology and
yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm a passion.
That is awesome, and I love social studies, and history. Oh man, I ate that stuff up in high school and all through school. This is just wonderful. But so 20 something years. That is really awesome. Well, thank you for being a teacher. My wife, she's a school teacher, and she's on her 27th year, I think. But she 26 or 27, I forgot. But she loves it and everything, and she's definitely ready to get back to the high school. She's been elementary at a magnet school for years, like 13 years, and then the assistant principal got a principal job, and then they wanted her to follow her to another middle school. She became a coach, reading coach, and all that. You know how that goes. You follow.
Absolutely.
And then then she did admin for a while, and then she missed being in the classroom. She goes, I appreciate the opportunity, but I miss the teachers, or the kids, and work with them. And but now, because we had moved away and then came back, she lost all her tenure, not her time, but it's like low man on the pole. They're cut units, and when they cut units, they needed 3 teachers, almost an hour away at an elementary school. She can't say no. She goes, take your pick, and they're all 45 minutes away from here. So, but she's hoping to get back in the high school realm next year. But anyways, so your channel, what made you wake up one day and say, you know what, Jess, I want to start a channel? Was it your, or maybe let me rephrase the question. Whose idea was it? Yours or Jess?
Ultimately, it was me that pulled the trigger, but the idea itself was the boys.
Really?
Yeah, they had been going through a couple years, because we started in, I want to say either January or February of 2022. And the boys for a couple years had both been going through this. I want to be a YouTuber. Like in school, it's like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be a YouTuber. And when they started that, and it was before the pandemic, they watched YouTube. Jess and I didn't watch anything on YouTube, like nothing, nobody, nothing. And then I actually started watching a couple of folks when I was at home during the pandemic. Jess, being in healthcare, she was still an essential worker, so she was still going to work every day. It was me and the boys here. I kind of ran out of stuff to watch, and so that's what finally led me to start watching some YouTubers. But over the course of that time, or those few years of them saying that, I decided, you know what? We're going to start a channel because I want them to see it's not as easy as they think it is. And so it was one of those things that I honestly started to try to teach the boys a lesson of, it's hard to make money on YouTube. It's a journey. It's a process. It's not as easy as all these folks that you watch and do it. And then I, of course, just fell in love with the outlet and the idea of having a channel and all the people that we've met and stuff like that. And so it's taken on a life of its own.
Absolutely. I could definitely, agree with that right there, without a doubt. I tell you what, it's a lot of fun. Do you find it fun to do?
Oh, yeah. It's a whole lot of fun. I hate editing, but everything else about YouTube is so much fun.
Absolutely. And what type of editing software do you use?
I actually just use my phone primarily. I'll run everything through iMovie for the most part, and anything that I need more stuff on, I'll upload and try to do through the simple YouTube editor. But the vast majority of my stuff, I'm able to edit through iMovie.
Okay, there you go. I use primarily Filmora. I've been using that now for a while. Back in the C word days, I hate saying that word.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The C word that messed up my trips to Germany for all that time. Oh my goodness! And that's how I met that guy. That funny guy that you may know him, Eddie Lugo.
Oh yeah.
You might know that guy. Awesome guy. You know, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Eddie. Settle down, Pumbaa. But anyways, I met them back during the C word days. I would do a lot of live streams myself. Blaine from Rayleigh Creative. He also has another channel, Everything Southern Gospel, and all that stuff. We will be on live streams all the time, and I think you heard the story how we started the Helen, Georgia meetup. It was because of a live stream and everything. So, but we just as time flies, here it is, 2026 already. I mean, all that stuff's in history, thank God. The C word stuff. But I still don't like to say that word. That made it. Yeah, it's so neat meeting people doing this, because you never know who you're reaching out there. And my thing is, me personally, I'm doing it for fun. I'm not doing it. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to do anything with it. I'm just trying to just have fun and meet people and stuff like that. And one day it blows up. Hey, it blows up. Okay, that's cool. But that's not my goal. Is to meet people like you, yourself, and your family, and all those guys. I tell you what, that group that came, Sherman and all them. I'm going to be having him as my guest on here in next week, I think, as well. I mean, these are good people. I mean, man,
they're great.
Yeah, I mean, all these folks here, and again, it's all coming from different areas.
And that's what's beautiful about this community is it's filled with so many different people. Like you said, you've got your crafters, you've got your cruisers, you've got your gamers, and then you've just got your vloggers that do a little bit of everything, like what we tend to do, and what Zoe over at Wishing Mouse does. So
Zoe.
Yeah, and so all these, and it's just fascinating that all these awesome people have been able to find each other and connect and form real friendships and real support groups.
That's right. And I've seen some out there. I don't know if I don't want to come across, but some people out there are doing YouTube. They're I don't know. None of the folks that we know, okay, but you get some out there that don't want no contact.
Yeah,
which is fine. I mean, that's totally fine. I'm not, nicking anybody for that at all. It's just like you put yourself out there, and then it's like, no, no, that's not my genre. No, we're not interested or something. It's just stuff like that just gets me.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just people, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, how do you come up with different ideas? Like, what are you going to do in your next? I'm not asking what you're going to do in your next video. I don't want to spoil anything, but where do you start thinking of your next video, next subject, or whatnot?
It's honestly something I try not to do a lot of planning on, simply because I've always had the mindset that I don't want to feel like I'm searching for content. Mm-hmm. I just want to have content as we're going about life. And that's kind of what I've always led with of, I'm bringing everybody along on our adventures. So this is stuff that we would do if we didn't have a channel as well. I'm just having the opportunity to take everybody along with me. And that's why, our channel is a hodgepodge of so many different things, because that's who we are. That's our lives. We've got so many different interests and things we want to do. So, it'll be food vlogs, and it'll be cooking vlogs, and it'll be theme park vlogs and other interesting stuff. And sometimes it'll be, me just sitting at the computer talking about a psychological topic that somebody's asked me to go into, or that I've felt put on my heart to get out there to everybody. So it's just a wide variety of stuff. I can't say I've ever been reached out to by groups yet. I haven't gotten to that point where companies or stuff like that are reaching out to me to, work or film their products or go to their events. If something has interested me, I've reached out to say, hey, I've got our channel here. This is what we do. I'd love to come film your event if you'll have me. And we're, like you said, no spoilers, but we're going somewhere tomorrow to film a vlog because I did just that. I reached out and they were like, we would absolutely love to have you come out and film,
That's great.
And probably the biggest thing we had thus far was last year. We were invited as media to Six Flags Fright Fest at Six Flags.
Is that the Whitewater Six Flags, or the?
It's the same company, but this was at Six Flags over Georgia, the theme park and not the water park. So,
okay, Douglasville.
It's Austell. It's right there, Austell, Douglasville area.
Okay, we got Lithia Springs, and then the Six Flags. That one.
Yes.
The wooden roller coaster. That one.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this is a park that I've grown up with. Growing up in this area, I grew up going to Six Flags, and I've been taking the boys to Six Flags their whole lives. Way before we started the channel. So Six Flags was definitely going to be something that we covered on the channel, and we've done several videos over the years there. And so to finally get to a point where our channel was, worthy enough or big enough that Six Flags, thought we'd be an asset and said, sure, come on out. We'd love to have you. That was awesome.
Well, that's cool. Speaking of amusement parks, put on your seatbelt buckle, because I can see a lot of that. Why? Because it's real, and that's why I like real folks. Not and I'm not docking anybody at all, but I just like real folks. Say this is what we're doing. We're sharing. That's what I do in my vlogs. When I go to Germany, I'm a Germany YouTube vlogger. That's what I do. I vlog whatever, whatever's going on. I even give travel advice, stuff like that too. But just being real. But make sure you have your seatbelt on, because I foresee a bunch of folks contacting you and sending you stuff.
Thank you.
That's without a doubt. What would be your number one challenge in the YouTube world, or in the creative YouTube world?
Or like, what is my goal, or
what challenges have you overcome? Like equipment or anything. It could be an array of things.
Well, several. I had I had no idea what to use equipment wise. I started using my phone and didn't do much editing whatsoever. And then I finally started incorporating some GoPro stuff, depending on what we were doing, and I still use that. Again, depending on what we're doing, if we're riding a ride or if we're going in the water and doing stuff like that, and wanting to give some POV type stuff, like in the mountain coaster video we just did. That was Ron's GoPro, but only because I forgot.
Good job, by the way.
Thank you. And and then we switched over to one of those Osmo Pocket 2 cameras, and it was okay, but it got to a point where I realized that the footage I would be able to get on my newer iPhone turned out better quality than what I was getting on the Pocket 2. So I've gone back to using my iPhone as my primary camera in most situations, but I've also finally started to use an exterior mic as well, which is that little button mic that I found through my Nerd Herd podcast co-host, or one of them, Jason. He found it, started using it, loved it, and I love the noise cancellation and everything else. It just makes the audio clearer. And so I've been trying to use that more and more and more. So yeah, technology, as you can see, this is my studio. It is essentially still our guest bedroom. I've done nothing. I've got so much stuff back there to hang up. And that's the ongoing joke, because when I used to do my lives, I'd sit at my dining room table downstairs, because we have a beautiful accent wall.
I've seen those
Under our stairs, and so I used that as my backdrop. But Jess got sick and tired of me filming from the dining room, so we relocated up here. And
I see where you're at now.
Yeah, this is my challenge now, is getting my studio set up. So hopefully I'll get some over spring break and maybe get it finished over the summer.
Now, I have a question I've been meaning to ask you. I'm glad you mentioned that. Speaking of background, now the other day I was we were on live stream. I was on Shelton's live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Eddie was there, but it looked like you had Eddie's background. How did you do that?
I know what you're talking about. So that wasn't me. The only person that can set up the background there is the host. So that would have been Sherman that had the thumbnail as the overall background. So
because it looked like you were in Eddie's office, and I'm looking at Eddie. No, he's right there, but I see Zach. I'm going back and forth. So you see me doing this. I went back and looked at it. I'm like,
there's a couple different ways. I mean, you can upload a picture, with EVMux, you can upload a picture into backgrounds and use it almost as if it was a green screen. Or another way to do it besides that, if you don't want to upload it there, is just to use an actual green screen and put it up that way.
Right. Let's see. In fact, I meant to do that.
Yep, just like that.
Thank you for telling me. That goes into my, I got all the time in the world. I'm 15 minutes. I'm supposed to go on. But anyways, but I did scratch my head though. I mean, literally, it looked like you were sitting in his office. I mean, back in the back. So that was something else here. Now, for my viewers, okay, and your viewers know, explain the Nerd Herd. Where did it come from? What is it, and what's the goal there? I know, but I want you to tell my viewers.
Okay, so near the end of 2024, it was about the time that I came into this YouTube community and found and discovered everybody in this community. And as most people in this community do and know, when you come in, everybody wants you to go live. It's one of those things. Everybody starts encouraging you to do live shows and to go live, because it's going to help build your audience. It's going to help, build your numbers, and, you get to meet everybody through the chat a little better than just on your videos. And it was one of those things that, even though I am an extrovert and knew I could do essentially a podcast or a live show on my own, it was one of those things where I I knew it could be sustained longer and I'd have more fun if I had some friends with me. And I had two good buddies, and both of them already had YouTube channels that were much bigger than mine. We all had common interests as far as theme parks and nerd stuff and things like that. The two of them had never met before we did our first show, because they were friends of mine in different parts of my life, and
wow.
Just
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like Raymond, so Ascalon, he and I grew up together. We went to middle school and high school together, so we've been friends for 30 some odd years. We've known each other.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then Jason and I met a little over a decade ago when I taught his son, and then Jason, in all his hobbies, he did a lot of photography and stuff like that. So after teaching his son, he did the pictures for my swim team when I was still coaching several years in a row. And we just ran into each other at school events all the time. And we just became fast friends. And it was one of those things that I just said, hey guys, let's do this podcast. Let's do this live show together. And, let's see how it goes. And after the first one or two, we realized, yeah, we want to keep doing this. This is a whole lot of fun. And we knew we had to name it. And so that's where we came up with the Nerd Herd. It was just one of those things that I think Jason said in a random show that we did, and at the end I said, that's the name of our show. We're going with the Nerd Herd, because it's awesome. And I think we're at a great time slot. We that Sunday night 4-hour, 5-hour shift of lives, and I always say that we're the break in the cruising vlogs. So we'll talk cruising a little bit, but Carnival Cruise Addicts at 5, that's their sole focus. Sea Leg Journeys at 6, that's their sole focus. All good
people.
Yeah, Cam Fam at 8, that's their sole focus. We're giving you a little bit of a break. We're going to give you the pop culture. We're going to give you the nerdy stuff. We're going to talk about fun stuff and joke and have a good time, and just cover other things besides cruising, just to give a variety.
So I have a question for you then.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you thought of this. I don't know. You probably, I don't know. But is a hot dog a sandwich?
We've had a debate like that. I'm fully of the belief that it is.
I watched it. Isn't that funny?
Of many arguments that get brought up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. When I heard that, that cracked me up. I'm like, sure, it can be. It could be. Got bread. It's bread. I mean,
absolutely, meat and bread. It's a sandwich.
Meat and bread. Boom, boom. All right. What's your favorite type of movies? What kind of movies do you like?
This may come as a surprise to a lot of folks, but my favorite movies are horror movies.
Really?
I absolutely love horror movies, and like the cheesier and cornier, the better. Like, give me the B movies all day. The ones that are so bad, I'm gonna crack up and die laughing. But the issue there is, I'm the only one in the family that likes horror movies, so I don't get to watch them very often, or I have to watch them when I'm alone. Because Jess does not do scary whatsoever. So we do a lot of superhero movie watching, the action movies and comedies, and I'm a big fan of those too. But if I had to pick one genre, I love horror movies.
Oh, there you go. I have to introduce you. I don't know. I've been posting some stuff. My German friend Klaus. Mm-hmm. He does all kinds of. Have you seen any of those videos I put out there yet?
I haven't yet. I've seen
little shorts,
but
yes. And we when I go to Germany, we film stuff together. We film these he comes across as a like a German nerd, right? so now of course he's an actor. That's not that's a wig, and everything else, and and he's acting the part of a precise German, everything, because Germans they have that knack of that Nick and Knack. Oh, that's where they came from. Yeah, that knack of being everything precise. It's got to be this
yes.
time. And so he's geeking it up. So he goes, I got to be a German geek. So he'll put on the accent. And he'll put. And he speaks really good English, but and he's just funny. He's hilarious. And that made me think about horror, because he did a small little video. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Of Dracula. He met Dracula somehow in a castle in Germany somewhere, and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I don't want to misspeak, but it's a lot of fun. Klaus of Germany. So if you see him, check him out. But
I will.
It's good stuff. But I love. When I do watch movies, I love history. I'm a history buff. I mean, I love history. Things that happen. I guess real. Biography. I just love it. Of course, action stuff too. I grew up watching war movies, and I ended up joining the U.S. Army. And hence the. I'm out now. I've been out a long time, but I still keep my hair cut. But I just love that stuff. I always want to be like my daddy. Way before the song, way before that came out, my dad came home from work, and I was like, "That's my daddy right there. I'm proud of my dad. That's my daddy." Come home in his uniform and everything. And so ever since I was a kid, it was a dream of mine to be in the Army, and it was a lot of fun. Now I gave you a homework assignment. Now being a school teacher. I'm sure we're gonna get an A on this.
Yes, I take homework seriously.
Okay. Oh, I like that. But I like going to Germany. I just dropped my pen. That's okay. I like going to Germany. I spent 6 years of my life there. I was there as a kid, growing up. Was only 4 years as a kid because my dad was stationed there. Then I went in the military, and before I broke my back over there, I spent 2 years in Germany. I broke my back in Germany, by the way, and was paralyzed and all that stuff. It was a scary time. But anyway,
absolutely, goodness.
It took me 19 years to get back. That was in 2008, and for years, I've been wanting to go. And this buddy of mine, I kept saying, I said, "Hey, let's go to. We need to go to." Just before I met my bride, I said, "We need to go to Germany." And he's one of those. Yeah, one of these days. And he's just that type. He's like, yeah, I'll do it one of these days. And when I married my wife and everything, I said, "Hey, you want to go to Germany?" She's like, "Yeah, I've never been to." So I said, "Cool, we're going." So I got my buddy. I said, "Look, we need to go." And he goes, "I'll go with you if you promise never to ask me again." I want to ask you again. Well, anyways, long story short, I'm cutting out a lot of stuff. He went. We were there with 2 hours. He's like, "You didn't tell me it was like this." I said, "I've been trying to." And,
you have been listening.
I've been back 35 times since 2008. I just had my 35th trip back.
Wow.
It's 2008. And he's been back like 17 or 18. And that's only because of work schedule and stuff like that. But he's all in. He's like, "Man, we need to go again." I said, "Hey, you're asking. I'm not asking you." So I promise. Anyways, I love visiting Germany. So I want to hear your. I give you to pick 3 to 5, or at least 3,
Mm-hmm.
3 to 5 places. So how many did you come up with?
Well, I actually booked myself an entire little trip here that I'm doing because and I told you that I've been to Berlin. I've been once. And I'd love to go back, but my trip is actually going to take me to southern Germany for the most part.
Okay.
And
that's
so
great.
I don't know how long my trip will last, but I know exactly what I want to see. And I apologize for any names that I butcher because I'm going to be honest, I have never heard of any of these.
Hey, butcher away.
Specifically, even as a teacher, I haven't heard of them. But I knew what I wanted to see. And this is what I was able to come up with and figure out of where I needed to stay in order to see what I wanted to see.
Okay.
So, town number 1 that we're going to be staying in is Fusen.
Fusen, yes.
Fusen.
Yes.
And I'm sure you know why we're going to Fusen.
Absolutely. Well, number 1, it's a sister city to Helen.
I did not know that.
Yes.
But that's a good reason to go.
in Helen, there's a monument, sister city, Fusen, Germany, and Bavaria, Fusen, Bavaria, right there. So if that wasn't it, to get closer to Neuschwanstein Castle, King Ludwig's house. Yes,
and that is 100% why we're going there, so we can go to Neuschwanstein.
That's that picture right there. The castle.
Because again, you gotta think and know what we're all about, and Disney is one of those things. And Neuschwanstein being, kind of the inspiration for Cinderella's castle, it would be awesome to see. And of course, we've seen it in riding, the Splorin ride at Epcot, or not Splorin, Soarin' ride at Epcot. It's a part of that, and you get to see it in all its grandeur there. So to see it in person and visit that would be awesome. Plus the fact that in Fusen, it also has, and I'm going to butcher this name, even though I wrote it down, I think it's Hohes Schloss?
Hohenschwangau, yep.
Where, which is an actual medieval castle compared to Neuschwanstein, which is just more of a romantic and fantasy castle. It wasn't actually a medieval castle. It's what we all have in our mind of it, but to actually see a legitimate medieval castle that was used then, is also a good idea of why Fusen would be a perfect starting place for us.
And the story on that is Hohenschwangau Castle, the one you're talking about. Okay, the King of Bavaria lived there. And King Ludwig, he grew up, and the one who built his fantasy castle, which is a real castle. There's nothing fantasy. It's a real castle. He grew up because one day when I become king, I'm gonna build me a big old castle the way I want it. So it's the youngest castle in Germany. It was built in the 1860s, I think. He started then, and he didn't stay in it long. Unfortunately, King Ludwig, which he was King of Bavaria, he had a little thing for ladies, and he messed with married folks, and they mysteriously found him floating in a lake. So he only spent like I think it was a couple weeks in there before they found him mysteriously floating in the lake. Yes, no one ever fessed up or anything, but absolutely. All right, and I don't want to interrupt you.
And I will say that in doing this, I had my wife in mind a lot for where we're stopping and going to, because she is very much
good man.
Yeah, she is very much a nature lover. And she loves being out in nature. She loves seeing beautiful scenery, stuff like that. That's just one of her big things that she likes to do when we travel. And she's never been to Germany, so I know that this would be, or a lot of the things that I've got are things that she would enjoy outside of the hustle and bustle of big cities. So our next stop is going to be Rothenburg Obdertauber. Rothenburg Obdertauber.
Exactly.
Is that okay?
Rotenburg Obertauer.
So
now, if a German's listening right now, you can say, Darren, that's not right, because they got the Rotenburg Obertauer, Obertauer, or whatever. But that's a good pick too, sir.
Yeah, just the fact that it's a truly preserved medieval city. More so than most, and from what I read on it, it essentially said it keeps that Christmas town vibe almost all year round. So it doesn't matter when you go, you'd get those feelings, and the fact that it's almost storybook like at night, with how quaint and quiet and beautiful the town is. And I also read that they also have this, that they're very well known for a night watchman tour that they do in the evening that's supposedly not just historical, but hysterical. So
he's an awesome guy, real tall, but he's really good.
So that's stop number 2, where we'd probably spend about the same amount of time in Fusen and in Rothenburg. They're about maybe 2 days or so in each, and then it's probably going to spend a little more time in our last stop, and that's Freiburg im Breisgau.
Yes. Beautiful. You're. This is great, guys. This is great picks. I was there in Freiburg last.
Teacher. Teacher.
That's right.
Read the homework.
That's right. Freiburg. I was there in October. In fact, I was just talking to a friend of mine there, Stacy. She's American, living in Germany. She's married to a German guy, and she's a YouTuber. And in fact, I had her. We did a podcast here a while back and everything, and I just shared one of her latest videos on either my Magnificent German with Darion. So I got another one, Magnificent German with Darion for that, but I got one specifically for the Helen, Georgia. I was just emailing back or texting back and forth with her, with Stacy in Freiburg. She says, "When are you coming back?" and everything. I said, "Well, I'll let you know." So, but the latest one was I did a short with her eating spaghetti ice right there in Freiburg, right for the big thing, and she. I'm gonna pull this up real quick here. I gotta share that with you.
Okay.
When you said Freiburg, man, that just lit me up there.
Okay, I am out here eating spaghetti ice, the delicious spaghetti ice. If you don't know what this is a German tree vanilla ice cream that's pushed out of a spätzle maker to look like spaghetti, and strawberry sauce with some Parmesan, just kidding, white chocolate on the top. And for all of you that are my followers that know there's someone that always comes with spaghetti ice.
Spaghetti. Did you say spaghetti ice?
Spaghetti ice.
What's this, folks? Dankeschön.
Cheers. Ciao.
Not to mention, that's a
one there.
That's a hidden Mickey spaghetti ice right there.
Oh yeah, I mean it's good stuff. It really is. Well, that's Freiburg is. Was that your last one? Was that your last one?
Freiburg is my last one, and
Okay.
it's a twofer. As in, there's two main reasons why I chose to stay here, because it's two things that I can cross off the list over the course of a couple days, and Freiburg just happens to be kind of a good center ground as well as a great just hub city, for both of these without being, too close to one and too far away from the other. And that is, and this should be zero surprise coming from the Cokers, but we're going to Europa Park.
What? When?
No, that's what I'm saying. When we go to Freiburg,
that
is what we're doing. We're going to Europa Park. I'll
book my flight too. That's a perfect excuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that it being like 30, 45 minutes away, not too bad of a drive. And, Europa Park is up there as one of the best theme parks in Europe. So it's been on our list for quite some time. So being in southern Germany, have to spend a day, if not a couple days, at Europa. That's just the Coker culture way.
That's awesome. I like that way too. Well, you hit the jackpot, because I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm about to share it with you. Back in the C word days, I started, everybody was home and everything. I started making itineraries for people to go to Germany, and sitting up with them and everything. Are you a travel agent? No, I don't want to be a travel. I'm just a guy who loves to share what I like to share and whatnot. And I have a book. Right here of itineraries that I made. These are 93 itineraries.
Wow.
Hold on. 94 itineraries ever since 2000, November 2000, right around that area. And, and I don't charge a thing. People say, "What do you charge?" I said, "Well, I do. I got to charge something. And the only thing I charge is a smile. If you smile, that's payment for me. How's that?" And they're like, "What?" I have people send me stuff. I don't never ask for it. I never say do this, and I'll do if you send me that. Nothing like that. But I definitely don't do it for that. But my payment is seeing the smiles on faces that especially an itinerary that I built, come back and say, "Man, I had a blast." And you being a teacher, oh, I got to tell you this. There's this guy, this couple, they're from Nebraska. He's retired Army. He became a school teacher. So he retired Army and taught for 25 years and retired. His wife was a retired principal. She taught for years and everything. Anyways, so they go to Paris and Rome, all this stuff for years, but they never really spent time in Germany. He did, when his Army, he spent a couple times there, whatever, but she never did. And so, and in my videos, I put out there sometimes, hey, if you ever want to, I'll be glad to sit down with you. We'll set up a time for a video chat, and I'll find out what your wants. Do you want city? Do you want country? Do you want both? Or what do you want? And we'll fix you up an itinerary that you never forget. Well, they contacted me, and so I had them on the screen, on a video screen, now she was nice as pie. Okay, it's going to sound like she's not, but she's like, I don't want to go to Germany, but she had a smile on her face though. She's, I'm going, and right next to her, she's, I'm going because of him. He wants to go, and he's been watching your videos, and he wants to go. I go to Paris and Rome. I really don't want to go to Germany. And I said, well, you two need to figure that out before I spend some time trying to figure this out and everything. But she was funny about it. She was not the opposite of rude. She was good sense of humor. She's like, I'm going because of him, and smile, But anyways, I made up an itinerary, and before that, she goes, you never. I'm back up here. Anyways, I make an itinerary. They go to Germany. Every day, I got messages, or a message saying, "Hey, can we do a video chat real quick?" And it's her, Darren. I never thought of Germany being a vacation destination, and we love it. We love this. We love this. And next month, they're going on their, I think, 8th trip.
Wow.
Since 2021. So, and they're like, we love Germany. So they'll call me, and now they're learning the stuff and everything, and they'll still call me. Well, what about this and that? I'm like, hey, you're on it. That's a really good itinerary. You're doing great. He goes, all right. So, and I still get pictures and look at this. So, but they don't want to be. I would love to interview these folks, but they don't want to be on YouTube. And I was like, okay, I gotta respect that. But I'm going to back up a little bit to Fusion and Hohenschwangau and all that stuff.
Well, hold on, I'm still not done with Freiburg.
Entschuldigen bitte.
I told you there were 2 main reasons, and I only went through Europa Park. The other is we're right there, close to the Black Forest. And
yes.
There's the nature aspect of stuff, not to mention the Black Forest is kind of the inspiration for most of Grimm's fairy tales, which, again, something kind of near and dear to me, and the horror, the supernatural side of things, and the home and creation of Black Forest cake.
Yes.
Tons of different, day trip opportunities there with, Triberg and Ravenna Gorge and...
You've been doing it.
Titisee, so plenty of opportunities for nature.
I have videos on the Triberg waterfalls right there, and of course you got the big cuckoo clock, right there in the little city of Triberg, and I stay at that hotel. Of course, I can't think of the name of it. It's a mom and pop thing. That's where I got that cuckoo clock from. That one, from Triberg.
Well, perfect place to get it.
Yeah, and the other one was Garmisch. There's a Garmisch. I got some up here too. Anyways, that's wonderful. And Freiburg, that's in the Black Forest. That's a city in the Black Forest. So you're all in that area, and that is so cool. And the castle, which is a real castle, but there's several ways to get up there. And I tell people my favorite way to go up there. Well, there's several favorite ways. One, you could walk up the big hill, which is very, very steep. You could do that, and I've done that several times. I was counting. I think I've been there like 20-something times now.
Wow.
To this castle at least, because I take people. I take groups of people, and that's the thing. We, like I said, I'm not a TA, but we split everything. We split it, and it's cheap for me, cheap for them. let's go, And anyways, but that's one way to get up, crawling or walking up the steep hill. Another is horse and carriage. Okay, the carriages, they'll take you up to a certain spot, then it gets really steep, and the horses can't get up there, and you still got to walk up that way anyway. Now, my favorite place or way to do it, there's a bus down there. It's only like €2. €2. The bus takes you up the back way, up there all these curvy hills, up to the bridge. You seen the bridge in the back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got pictures of that too up here. But anyway, so it'll drop you off just below that, and you just walk up to it. There, you're walking down towards a castle. You go in, okay, but if you go the other way and you walk to that bridge, you're walking up like that. So what I tell people, and what I've done for people, hey, we'll bust it up there, look around the bridge there. And there's trails in the back too. If your wife likes trails, oh man, I can tell you some trails. I'd love to show you some trails in person, but let's book a ticket right now, man. But anyways, and then going down, and you'll see when you going towards the castle, you'll see people out of breath, and you're just trucking along and everything, and sometimes when you get groups, people don't listen, and I'm like, you know what, we're all grown men, grown women, this is how to do it, and they said, well, we're going to go this way. We want to walk it up there. I said, okay, it's steep down there now. You'll be all right, but it's steep. Oh, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We come walking down. The same people are bent over like this. We should have listened to you, Darren. I said, well, just keep on climbing. You'll go this way. We're walking down. It's kind of fun. This is a older picture. This is one of many pictures, but that's right there.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah. I got tons of video and stuff like that, but I've actually had videos of how to get up there and whatnot. But definitely that, and the Rotenburg, that's an actual Rotenburg, open tower. It's a working medieval city. It's still. It's working. Everything's livable. People live there,
functional,
and all of this.
Awesome.
Yes, and it's all. And there's a wall there. The city gates. You can walk around the city gates and stuff like that. So much history with it. With that, there was one. I'll show you a little bit of history here. Of course, I hate war with a passion, and in World War II, the Americans, they were surrounding the city, and the commanding general says, we're not going to destroy the city. His great-grandpa's from there. He goes, this is my great-grandpa's city, where he's from. This is an American general. So they took the city, but, everybody just,
the city.
No. And that's the thing. We didn't want to go in there and mess up, I say we, but, unfortunately, it happened. But, and then also Freiburg. When you said Freiburg, you notice he lit up. I enjoy that so much. But whenever you're ready, Zach, I'll sit down with you and Jess, and I'm making an itinerary that you'll never forget. To include, I wrote it down, Europa Park and all that stuff. But I would definitely include this on there because you're 45 minutes from the castle, Garmisch. Okay, Garmisch Partenkirchen. Garmisch Partenkirchen is one of my favorite places. They got the place called the Zugspitze. Okay, the Zugspitze is the highest peak in Germany. I'm looking at a picture right here. I can't get that one down, but it's up there. It's the highest peak in Germany. It's right on the Austrian border. So when you go up there, you can actually walk into Austria. So you'll be two countries at once. You could walk into Austria. Hey, I'm in Austria. I like to have lunch in Austria and then come back to Germany and then enjoy all the stuff. But that there's ways to come up there too. You got your Selbahn. That's a German one. The car going up.
Yeah, like
it's called gondola. Yeah, German word is Selbahn and whatever. But the gondola. It takes you up. That's the best way to go. Take the gondola up, do all the stuff, and then take the train down. There's a cogwheel train that take you down. That's the best way to go up because you're looking over the lake. There's a beautiful lake that I love to swim in, crystal clear, and you're swimming in there, and you see the snow cover. It could be July, snow covered mountains, right there, just as you're swimming, just breathtaking, Zach. I tell you what. But whenever you're ready, I would love to set you up.
Awesome.
And it's cheaper than you think, because you look online and all the stuff. Yeah, you got to pay all that stuff because you're paying somebody. You're paying all the, oh yeah, you take this package here and you're paying for all that. But the way I do it, no, I like to do it like a local would. Say, hey, we go right here, boom, and it makes it cheaper for everybody, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to go away for 2 weeks this year. I'm taking my son and 2 of his buddies.
Oh boy, okay. Guys trip.
Yeah. Guys trip. They're seniors in high school. They'll be graduated, so they're a couple years older than Billy. But anyway, so for 2 weeks, including hotels and cars, each person's paying like $840.
That's not bad.
Not including food or the airline ticket.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do it the right way, and I stay in nice places. I don't. Now I'm not a 5-star guy. When I say nice places, a 5-star hotel here in the States is a 2-star in Germany. Everything's clean. Everything is just the way it is.
It's that pristine, everything's running on time, German mentality.
Everything. Now here lately, the trains that has changed because of growth and accidents and stuff like that. Sometimes they're on time. Most of the time they are, but sometimes the train system it's not like it used to be because of the growth. But they're working on getting it better again. So that's a definite. But
now, also another thing for you, as big as you are on your spaghetti ice.
Oh, yeah. Did you say spaghetti ice?
I did say spaghetti ice.
Oh my goodness!
And I enjoyed it. I had it in Helen. I enjoyed it. That video's still to come. I am always much more of a savory food guy than a dessert guy. Jess is our dessert person. So regardless of where I picked, I knew I was going to be happy because I love me some currywurst.
Oh, yes.
That is one of the biggest highlights of my Berlin trip, was eating as much currywurst as I could possibly eat.
That's right. Oh.
So I actually did. I had to Google when I was looking up all these places. I was like, I can get currywurst here, all right? And they were like, you can get currywurst here.
Absolutely. In fact, in Garmisch, I know that a very nice place that has, of course, all the brats and stuff like that, but have currywurst, and it's really, really good. And one of my favorite, now my son, he loves cars, okay? Mm-hmm. I do too, but he's over the top. He's BMW, Porsche, Audi, all that stuff. And we go to the museums, and I'll be doing that again this time because he was to show his buddies. I said, sure, no problem. But even at the Porsche factory. Okay, they have a cafeteria. There's a factory, and they also have the museum. All the older Audis. Did I say Porsche? Mm-hmm. Audi. I'm sorry. The Audi museum, right there. They got some of the best, closest. I mean, Berlin's supposed to be us, but I tell you, it tastes really good, and that's one of the things that we're going to mark off because we got to go to the Audi museum and get the currywurst there. But man, it's really good. Now, see, I love. Oh man, you see, Mr. Savory, like the. What? By the way, what did you have? What did you have at the Opera House?
So, I had initially decided ahead of time I was going to get. I think I was going to get one of the schnitzel dishes, and Jess got the regular chicken schnitzel because at that point Ty had said he was getting. I completely forget what he initially said. Oh, he was going to get a chicken sandwich. And I said, Jess, I'm going to get this, but before I do, So I need to show Ty this meat platter, because I have a feeling if he sees it, then we're going to get that, and he and I are going to split this meat platter. And sure enough, when I showed him the picture, he was like, that's what I want. So we split the giant meat platter that had, 2 pork chops and I think 4 wursts.
Yes.
3 sides. So that's what we had.
Zach, we're mirroring each other, because that's exactly what I had. I ate the whole thing, and I was stuffed. I was stuffed. And of course, I'm trying to hurry up, because I want to keep things going, keep people talking and stuff like that. And so as soon as I saw it, I was like, now I grabbed the microphone again. Hey, but yeah, that's good. You will. Oh man. Let me know when you're ready. We'll go, Zach. I'll take you someplace, and
because the meats in Germany just in Berlin there was a street market, and nobody working there spoke English. But if I remember right, we paid, me and a couple of my colleagues that were with me on this trip, we paid maybe 2 or 3 euros, and we got to fill up an entire paper bag with all different kinds of meat. For just 2, and I was like, you mean to tell me I get a bag of meat for 2 to 3? Oh, yeah, forget about it.
And it's fresh meat too, no preservatives.
Yeah. No, it's so good, so good.
It's against the law. It all is. Everything tastes different, even the spaghetti ice. Now, they do great at spaghetti ice at the Das Ice Cream Cafe. They do outstanding there. But it's different than Germany. The taste is different. But the looks the same, but the taste is different. Now, I'm not knocking Das Ice at all, because I love those people, and they make it's fresh cream that they make it, so it's really good. But if you eat a German one, and that you will notice a difference. Like Ralphie's been a German movie now a couple times, and he's like, this is good, but you can tell the difference in Germany, and he loves Das Ice,
Mm-hmm.
But you'll notice the difference, because every single thing, every single ingredient is fresh. But man, food, ice cream, spaghetti ice. Oh my goodness, that's what I'm talking about. But whenever you're ready, like I said, I'll be more than happy to sit down with y'all and set you up with one. What I normally tell people, I give them a little disclaimer. Disclaimer? What? Once you go, you're going to be hooked. You'll be wanting to go back. Especially now, you mentioned going down to Bavaria, southern Germany, of course. Now, that's where I'm at most of the time. But I do hit Berlin. I go to Berlin about every other year. I think last year I went twice, because I was there for 31 days. I was in Germany 31 days, and I took 2 back-to-back groups in Germany. So and they want to see the Europe League, the soccer. Yeah. So we did all that and stuff like that. But I've been branching out, going to North Germany, Bremerhaven. I enjoyed all of that too. The Nordwest, the Northwest. Right there on the Baltic Sea, right there, and
I know there's a beautiful theme park right there on the Baltic Sea too. Being the theme park enthusiast I am, I saw that and I was like, "Ooh, that's another one that at some point." So it doesn't work with my southern Germany trip here, but
I cannot think of the name of that one, but I know which one you're talking about though. Absolutely, man. Well, Zach, I thank you so much for being here. I'm going to turn the floor over to you in closing. Before we leave, what's your aspirations for your channel from here on out?
Honestly, at this point, I have no idea. I want.
And that's awesome.
Yeah, every goal we set out to have, we've reached. I have no intention of making YouTube my career, so I don't care if we ever make that much money, but I do enjoy the fact that we're monetized and making enough now to kind of supplement some of the stuff we're spending money on for the channel and for the studio and things like that, which is nice. But I just want to continue having fun and want to continue reaching more people and hopefully impacting more lives like we have up to this point.
I like that. I like that. And where have you been all my life, Zach? Where have you been?
Apparently Dallas, Georgia.
Dallas, Georgia. Right. But all right. Well, folks out there, thank you for watching. This is my friend Zach and his wife Jess. That's a G. Yeah, Jess. And everything, but make sure you check out their channel. It's an awesome channel. It's a family channel, and that's what I like, real life stuff. And go by and tell them some guy named Darion sent you, and he'll get a kick out of that. You get a kick out of that, Jack?
I do. I absolutely do.
All right, yeah, he'll get a kick out of that. So make sure you do that. All right. Well, Zach, I'm going to ask you to help me close out. We're going to say Tschüss and Tschüss together on a count of 3. Ready?
Okay.
Now, not just Tschüss and Tschüss, not just Tschüss and Tschüss. We got to be emphatic about it, okay? You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, all right. 1, 2, 3. Tschüss and Tschüss! Oh, my goodness. That is awesome, Zach. Thank you much for being here, and hang tight as we close out. And everybody, have a great day. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell everybody about Zach with Coker Culture. Tell them I sent you.
Thank you so much.
Very welcome. Thank you so much. Tschüss and Tschüss. Ooh.